Welcome, my friends. Today I want to share a quote that, if you really sit with it, can change the way you live your life. The quote goes, "You deserve the consequences of your actions, and if that sounds like a diss, you're doing it wrong." Now, when you first hear that, it might sound harsh. It might feel like someone's judging you. But I want you to look deeper. This isn't an insult. This isn't meant to shame you. This is actually one of the most empowering truths you'll ever hear. Because what this quote is really saying is, your life is in your hands. You're not powerless. You're not a victim of luck or fate or random chance. You are the architect of your destiny because your actions create your reality. And once you understand that, once you own that, you realize that every setback, every success, every lesson along the way is not happening to you, but happening because of you. Let's start with the foundation, the law of cause and effect. This is one of the most reliable truths in life. Every choice you make has a ripple. Every action you take creates an outcome. If you consistently study, learn, and grow, you'll see the rewards in your career. If you take care of your health, your body will thank you years down the line. If you treat people with respect and honesty, you'll build trust and deep connections. But the opposite is true as well. Skip your responsibilities, and you'll feel the weight of them later. Ignore your health, and it will eventually demand your attention in ways you don't want. Lie, cheat, or disrespect others, and over time you'll find yourself isolated. See, life isn't about punishment or reward. It's about results. Results don't lie. They don't play favorites. They simply reflect what you put in. Here's where most people struggle. Accountability. For many, accountability feels like a heavy word. It feels like judgment, like blame, like someone pointing a finger. But here's the truth. Accountability is not your enemy. It's your freedom. Because when you accept accountability, you also accept power. If my choices created this situation, then my new choices can create a better one. If my actions brought me here, then my actions can take me somewhere greater. Blame feels easier. It feels good, at least temporarily, to say, it's not my fault. It's because of them or this or that. But blame keeps you trapped. It hands your power to someone else. Accountability may sting at first, but it sets you free. It gives you the steering wheel back. It reminds you, I got myself here, and I can get myself out. That's the real meaning behind the quote. If you hear you deserve the consequences and you feel attacked, you're doing it wrong. You're supposed to feel empowered. For an example, two friends join a gym. One shows up 3 times a week, pushes through, and eats with discipline. The other skips workouts, cheats on meals, and tells themselves, I'll start fresh next week. 6 months later, one has lost weight, gained energy, feels confident. The other feels stuck, frustrated, maybe even resentful. Both are simply living with the consequences of their choices. Another example is 2 employees start at the same company. One shows up early, learns new skills, takes initiative. The other does the bare minimum, complains, and avoids extra responsibility. A year later, one gets promoted, the other doesn't. Was it luck? No. It was cause and effect. The last example. In a marriage or a friendship, if one person invests time, communicates, listens, and nurtures the bond, that relationship grows stronger. But if they neglect it, let bitterness build, or stop showing appreciation, the relationship starts to crumble. Again, it's not luck, it's actions. Do you see the pattern? The consequences always match the input. Here's the tricky part. Not all consequences show up right away. Some are delayed. And that's why people often get caught off guard. Eat junk food for a week. You don't notice much. Eat junk food for 5 years, and suddenly the doctor has a long talk with you. Skip a few study sessions. No big deal. Skip learning and growing for 5 years, and suddenly you're behind, struggling, wondering where the time went. The seeds you plant today are the harvest you face tomorrow. And the most dangerous seeds are the ones you plant without realizing it. Habits, routines, small decisions that quietly shape your future. So how do we stop seeing consequences as punishment? By reframing them. Consequences are feedback. They're lessons. They're reality's way of holding up a mirror and saying, this is what your actions created. And that mirror isn't cruel, it's honest. If the reflection isn't what you like, don't smash the mirror. Change what you're putting into it. Start asking yourself, what did this consequence just teach me? What action created this? What new action can create a better result next time? When you start thinking this way, consequences stop feeling scary. They start feeling like guidance. Let's get practical. If you want better consequences in life, here's a 4-step action plan. Step 1. Define what you want long-term. Clarity creates direction. You can't act consistently if you don't know where you're headed. Step 2. Reverse engineer the daily actions. Break the big goal into small, repeatable choices. Fitness goals come down to meals and workouts. Career goals come down to learning, networking, producing value. Step 3. Build habits and systems. Discipline is easier when you have structure. Use calendars, reminders, accountability partners. Whatever it takes. Step 4. Course dash. Correct quickly. Mistakes happen. Off days happen. The key is not to spiral. Reflect, learn, and adjust fast. You don't need perfection. You need persistence. So, let's circle back to the quote one more time. You deserve the consequences of your actions, and if that sounds like a diss, you're doing it wrong. This is not an insult. It's a gift. It's life's way of telling you, you are in control. If your current results are good, celebrate them. You earned them. If they're not what you want, don't despair. Change them. You have the power. The next chapter of your life is unwritten, and the pen is in your hands. Own your choices. Own your consequences. And you'll own your future.